Here are 3 signs that will let you know whether or not you are dealing with or will be dealing with a controlling, manipulating ex. Welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn. I'm Verlyn, your favorite premarital coach. Here are the 3 signs. Number 1, does the ex call multiple times a day? Sign number 2, when she calls, does he, as in your man, stop, drop, and run? And number 3, very important, does she have access to his home? Meaning, does she have a key, or does she have just, I can stop by unannounced anytime I want privileges? 3 red flags, at least in my opinion. All right. Now, let me first qualify. What do I mean when I say an ex? I'm referring to an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend, and they have children together because, obvious reasons, even though there's an ex involved, if there are children, there will always be some type of interaction, and we get that. And this is a precursor to the series that I'm working on coming up in June, and I'm just giving you a few tidbits, a few things to think about before you say I do, as well as if you have already done it, meaning you said I do, these are some red flags. If you have not seen them yet, good thing. If you have seen them, we're going to delve into later on how to handle these. So ladies, if you are dating a man, again, and he has children and he has to deal with the mother, which is understandable. Let me give this disclaimer. A man's job is absolutely to have a part of his children's life, to be involved, to be there when they are needed in terms of their children. As a matter of fact, it's a red flag if you're dating a man and he has other children and he doesn't take care of them. He doesn't have any involvement in their life. He doesn't speak with them. Now, clearly, if they're in another country or they're far, far away, that might be an exception, but there should at least be some phone calls, right? You got FaceTime, you got airplanes, you have ways to get back and forth to visit. And so that's a whole different podcast because you don't want to link up with a man who's not taking responsibility for his children. And so I want to make that understood. I am not saying that the man should totally discount the baby mama or the ex-wife, which baby mama, I do not like that term, but that is the term that's being used and that's popular. So again, let me go through each one. Number 1, if you see that an ex is constantly calling your man, your husband, your fiance, that is a red flag. Nobody needs to call someone multiple times a day. And it doesn't matter what anybody has to say. It is the truth. There are reasons to call, obviously, when you have children. If money is needed for sneakers, if they're going to be involved in sports. But there are certain things that should be limited, especially if a man is trying to establish a new life with the next wife, then yeah, there should be clear boundaries. There should only be conversations that involve the children. Now, let me say this too, because everybody has a different opinion and family dynamics may be different. If that is a thing, like they're still buddies and close and they talk all the time and you're okay with that, hey, that's your thing. But for the most part, most women, when you're trying to establish a relationship, your marriage, your home, you don't want a controlling, meddling, manipulating ex always calling your husband. We'll move on from there. Number 2, if every time she calls, he stops, drops, and runs to the rescue, you're probably dealing with a controlling, manipulating ex. Because it is, again, no reason to call multiple times a day, and it's definitely no reason to stop everything you're doing and for the man to go running whenever she calls. That is a very clear sign that you will be dealing with a controlling, manipulating, demanding ex who feels entitled that whenever she calls, he drops everything and he runs right over. That's a red flag. And then like I said, definitely a red flag. If there's constant access in and out of the house, like she's got a key, she can stop by unannounced, there is such a thing as boundaries that should be put in place. It's a common courtesy. It's common respect. All right. That is a huge red flag. If you are seeing a man and you're in the middle of lunch or dinner and then the ex just pops over, oh, I just wanted to tell you that this happened at school. That is a red flag. You have to sit and have a serious conversation. Now, there are many, many other signs that there's a controlling and manipulating ex in the picture. However, those are the top 3. Nobody needs to talk multiple times a day. Your man does not need to be running off every time she calls, no matter how big, how small, unless there is an emergency, as in a child is fighting in school, in trouble in school, not doing hot in school, obviously sick or hurt. Yes, then you stop, drop, and run, but not at every little whim, all right? And definitely, if there's an open door, yes, stop on by, come on through, do this, you're welcome here, red sign, all right? Or rather, red flag. And the conversation you need to be having is, please help me understand the dynamics of what's going on here. Because if he says, well, this is how we do it, this is how it's going to be, you have to consider, is this how you want to spend the rest of your life with a controlling, manipulating ex? Because I promise you, it does not stop there. And it doesn't, please don't fall for the, oh, well, if we get married, it's going to get much better. I'm not saying it won't get better. What I'm saying is it's going to get much worse before it gets better. And that is if it gets better. Lots of times we as women, we assume that we're going to change a situation. We think we're going to walk into a certain dynamic and that things are going to change, that we're going to lay down some ground rules and that if he wants to be with me, this is going to happen. And I get that. What I'm saying is this. When you're dealing with a man who has a controlling, manipulating ex, it is not that easy. You will not be able to go and stop anything, which is why I'm doing this series, which is why I'm explaining to you before you say I do. Please think that through, because those things that you see are happening while you're dating, if you get married, they're not going to stop. If anything, they may get worse. They may increase. And the only thing you're going to do is sit there and be upset about it because there are no boundaries. And that's the whole purpose of this series. First of all, to move out of the emotions and think, is this what I want to deal with? Okay. And then if you say, yeah, I love him and all of that, then you have to sit down and create boundaries. And I can't tell you what that looks like, at least not right now, but I can tell you that creating boundaries is going to create some other drama in the future. And so these are many considerations that you have to take account for. You cannot say, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Yeah, you did. When you were sitting there in the middle of lunch and she walked right through the door, or you were preparing to have dinner and she called and said, hey, I need you to come over, and he stopped, dropped, and he ran out. Those are the signs. When you're out and about and the phone is ringing and texting it, red flag, red flag, red flag. You need to know that that's what it is. Don't try to ignore it. It is not going to go away because you come into the picture. She's not going to stop calling. She's not going to stop texting. She's not going to stop dropping by. She's not going to stop demanding that he drop everything at her every whim. That's why I'm saying it is controlling and manipulating. We're going to get into that. A lot more detailed conversations are coming up in June. Right now, I just want to give you just a little bit to think about, to say, let me see, is this going on? These are, again, my top 3 red flags to watch for. Thank you for watching. This is Coach Verlyn, and you know what I'm about. I'm about seeing women be and stay happily married, one conversation at a time. Make sure you visit my website, verlyntarleton.com. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and please hit the share button. I'm sure there are many ladies that need to be having and hearing these conversations because you need to think things through before you say I do. Until next week, may you experience extraordinary love. Bye for now.